Welcome, epic gamers, epic Euro gamers of of Twitch chat and YouTube. Today is the first vintage challenge since a couple weeks now because I took a little break, played in a Mox, took a weekend off, and now we're back. We're getting ready for the PTQ next weekend and the showcase the following weekend. So there's a bunch of high level vintage coming up, and today we're trying to attack the format with kind of an interesting brew. And so I and also Matt Murray have been trying to make Uro work in Vintage for quite a while now. I do think that Uro is at a sufficient power level to be played in Vintage. The shell has just been the obstacle. So this is what we come up with today. It is one of many Uro decks that Matt put together. I have a couple other ones as well. But this one is focusing on more of a turbo land shell than some of like the Bant control archetypes. And so what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to abuse Mystic Sanctuary and Uro. I'm basically trying to use Uro, and the way I'm doing that is multiple Mystic Sanctuaries, Wasteland Strip Mines, we've got Growth Spirals, and Life from the Loam in the main deck. So against things like Shops and Dredge, you can have this very substantial Wasteland package. Even against like Breach, Wastelands are quite good. And then you have this very controlling, lots of forces, lots of counter magic blue shell with tons of cantrips. And I think the thing that kind of holds the deck together is actually these Ice Fangs. Ice Fang is very, very powerful against the Bant decks, any Tarmogoyf deck, any Archon deck, any deck like that. Daphix asked about Fastbond. It's something that I've considered. Talking to Kane about that one last night. You could totally play Fastbond over Growth Spiral, but I've been very happy with Growth Spiral as it allows you to play instant speed with Coatls, pitches to both Force of Will, Force of Negation, and Force of Vigor. So I've been a lot happier with Growth Spiral, but you might be able to play Fastbond and do a similar thing. So we'll have to see as it goes today. I've been testing this deck for a couple days now, and I've had pretty strong results. I think mostly my leagues are 3-2s and 4-1s, and a lot of the 3-2s were mostly because I made mistakes. I think this deck is a little bit hard to play. I don't have the best patience to play a deck like this. This deck is a way slower deck than I would generally enjoy to play. The upside of the deck is that you have an extremely strong Sanctuary Ancestral Shell. So where other people are, looping Sanctuaries and Time Walks and stuff, you're doing it at such an incredibly over-the-top and high-paced level. I've cast 4 Ancestrals in one turn. That's just Ancestral Recall, not Treasure Cruise. I've cast 4 Ancestrals in a single turn. You just can do really silly things when you have all of this kind of Mystic Sanctuary mana base. That being said, the sideboard is extremely geared towards certain things. Hydroblast is, Breach and Arcanist. Entrancing Melody has been very important in fixing the Deathrite Shaman problem. This deck does have a Deathrite Shaman problem. I do think it's still good against Bug. However, Deathrite Shaman is really annoying against a lot of my engines, and so I've been stealing Tarmogoyfs and Deathrites and that kind of thing with Entrancing Melody, and it's been really, really sweet. I have a super nice crop rotation package for my Dredge matchup. My Dredge matchup I actually think is quite strong. I have 3 spells and also Bog, Tabernacle, double crop rotation, and 3 Wasteland effects. And then I have 4 pieces of artifact removal. I think that might be enough, but it could be on the lower side. We do have a lot of counter magic. We have tons of lands, many basics, and Oko, which I think is very strong in the matchup. So I do think that the matchup is already okay. However, this might be on the soft side, I think. So yeah. So overall, I'm trying to attack the creature decks with Coatl and an extremely powerful Fair package, and I'm trying to attack the land based decks with a Strip Mine Loam package, and that's the whole idea. Whether or not it'll work out that way, we'll have to wait and see. There are tons of other ways to build this, especially ones that forego the Loam package. I was working on things like Bant, but I'm a little concerned that this deck is too slow and too overgeared for creature decks, right? So today we're going to try the blue-green version and see if we can't become Epic Uro gamers, legacy Snoko players, or whatever you call them. Welcome everyone to round 1 of the Vintage Challenge. We're playing against Godalicious. Godalicious played a mono red prison deck in the last prelim, so I'm a little concerned about that. We'll see what happens. This hand has Emerald, Basic Island, Force, definitely a keeper. Did you win? I think this deck is sweet, but it does have some issues. I love this Uro though. Looks so cool. We have to be wary of how we fetch. Only the Misty Rainforest fetches the basic forest. I can't afford to obviously fetch a basic forest here. So that doesn't come up right now, but in the future, like fetching off of non-Misties is more powerful. All right, this Gush is garbage. However, an Oko could be pretty strong here, so. Okay, so it is going to be either Shops or Mono Red Prison. We're actually set up. Okay, it is Mono Red Prison. We're set up to beat this deck pretty easily, I think. Next turn, we'll play an Oko. We have a Force of Will for their first play. Pretty okay with this setup. So if it's a Trinisphere, huh? If it's a Magus, huh? I think I can just let Magus resolve. That one doesn't seem like an issue. I have a basic already. I have an Emerald already. I have an Oko, which can like block it. Yeah, I think that's fine. Nice. Strip Mine, Sapphire, red, blue, green, Oko. I'm just gonna plus Oko to 6. Max your rug deck now. Yep. We could even bounce and strip if we wanted to at some point, but don't really think that's strong. Pretty sure Forces, this Brazen Bar is probably just going to get pitched to Force. Though it will be pretty hard for us to cast this Uro from the graveyard without a Astrolabe. I mean, we have 2 Astrolabes and a Forest in our deck, so maybe it'll be too challenging to cast this. Or there's a Burgi. Interesting. What does that mean? That's really weird to me. I don't think I'm forcing it, though. Okay. I don't really think that's like a thing I'm looking to force. Interesting. Well, the Coatl is a bit better than playing the Uro here. The Uro might just get pitched to Force, to be perfectly honest. Okay, that's a mountain. Maybe we will end up just bouncing this Magus at some point. As long as this Oko stays in play. I do think this Uro is the one that's going to get pitched, not the Borrower. The Borrower seems to have better utility. Though I can't fetch the mountain, the Forest, because this is a Scalding Tarn, so... Goblin Engineer. Wow, opponent's deep. This is fine. I can turn off the Engineer with an Oko if needed. They might need to. Painters. Okay, so they're playing mono red Painter. Interesting. Another Engineer. That one is don't think is fine because then they'll have 2 they'll bring back. I think I'm just gonna force the second engineer. Opponent has a lot of gas. So I can bounce this Magus and then strip mining their red source is not terrible. I can fetch an island, strip the red source. I kind of think that's what I want to do. Yeah, I'm aware. Maybe we won't end up stripping. I still think bouncing there is pretty strong. Astrolabe. Bring back my Uro, please. Interesting. Do I want to turn off this engineer? I think so. I mean, they have to like have drawn an emerald to get a red source, though. So I don't think it's a big deal. And draw like a Moxen or whatever. I still don't think there's any reason to be attacking. My Caudal will now have Death Touch, which is nice. Yeah, I don't think I want to swap there. It's probably a little greedy. I do have shields down for a turn here. I have to play a little bit faster. This deck really, really is slow. Oh, thank you for that, Windows. Wonderful. Yes, if you elk a snow permanent, it is still a snow permanent. So they do have, it looks like they do have a spell to make a red mana here, which sounds problematic. Maybe they don't. I am a little concerned here. Okay, they have a grindstone. Wow, yeah. Okay, so they're gonna go grindstone into Magus then? That's 5 mana. Do you have a Burgie? Wow. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. If I hadn't bounced, I mean, I didn't know I was going to draw a Force of Will, but they don't have that much mana right now. Let's see what they flip over. They flipped over Landbergie. All right, we're safe for a turn, and then we can kill this. We can kill this horn. So we're actually fine here. No problemo. This is going to come in at Oko. It's not going to come in at Oko. All right, I'm just going to get this Brazen Borrower in play. Yeah. And okay, sure. We'll play this, and I'm just going to elk this horn, and now we're in great shape. I think the answer is just attack with this for lethal over time. I kind of going to hold back the Coatl so that I can kill more things. Yeah, we look good here. Elking the engineer and countering the second engineer worked out very well. I'm kind of jealous because I think opponent's deck is sweet. I really like the opponent's deck. Very cool. I could get my own Burgie, huh? That'd be fun. Red, green. Yeah, I mean, opponent's going to be bringing in probably 4 Pyroblasts. I macked Blast in chat, so it'll get harder for Oko. Or maybe they have a bunch of Pyroblasts in the main deck already. It's possible. It's weird because opponent is definitely a very hybrid deck, but... No play. I think it's very unlikely that I steal. Maybe I'll steal a Bergie. That'd be interesting. A Braid targeting my food. So my Oko would go to 1. I would block, kill Bergie. Oko goes to 1. Stand up, lose Oko on the following turn. So I guess we're just going to counter this. I guess we have to turn off the grindstone, right? Well, let's see. If they draw Painter, yeah. Or I could steal Bergie and Wasteland the Tomb. And then I'm safe. That might be better. Play a Sapphire, or tap the Sapphire, steal the Bergie. Oh no, I can't give them a Sapphire. Fuck. I have to give them an Astrolabe. I just feel like that's a lot better than turning off the grindstone. You cannot take artifacts. You can only take creatures. Next turn, I'll probably attack with Coatl, so that's a 2-turn clock. Actually, maybe I could be standing up and attacking at some point here as well. So here, they only have 4 mana. So if they were to draw a Painter Servant, they do not have the 5 mana needed to kill me. And that's why we made this play. Or else I think I would have to just turn off Grindstone so I don't have myself dead on board. Okay, got there. I do think that if we had played that game any amount differently, we probably would have ended up in a really challenging situation. This seems like a matchup where we're bringing in Nature's Claims and Force of Vigors and Hydroblast. Entrancing Melody. Possibly Entrancing Melody. And then I don't think I believe very much in this Wasteland package here. I think a Strip Mine is fine to keep in, though. And then Misdirection would just be Pyroblast, so not that good. I mean, it's okay, but not great. Flusterstorm seems bad. Mental Misstep, Pyroblast. Probably still worth it, I think. Let's consider as we walk through these cards here. I think one of the Uros should go. It's really hard to go through a Blood Moon. Maybe that's not correct. Maybe we're supposed to keep the Uros. I think a Gush is probably not necessary. I don't hate the idea of Loam. Mystical Tutor's probably not great, though. I don't think this deck is super weak to Blast. I think you have like recurring threats like Uro. I'm not convinced that this deck is super weak to Blast. Do we want Needle? They have a Braid. We might want Needle. Yeah, we probably want Needle. Maybe at this point we do just get rid of Loam. I was thinking like you could fetch and rebuy with Loam. Maybe like a Sanctuary is not that good, but yeah, this looks fine. Let's try this. I have not found that this deck is weak to Blast. The reason that PO is weak to Blast is because you hinge all of your efforts on one singular blue spell. This is an interesting hand. I actually think I'm going to keep this hand. It's not great. by any means, but it has a nice set of mana, so yeah, I still think Growth Spiral is fine. Building out your mana base against a mono red deck is pretty sweet. Maybe Enchanting Melody is actually garbage, but I feel like it's reasonable against what my opponent's doing with Engineer and Bergie, so... Okay, what do we have turn 1? And I could steal a Rabble Master or something. Alright, they played a turn 1 Bergie again. We might just die, I guess. Maybe I should be indexing on Force of Will harder. Blood Moon? Trinisphere? Okay. We play pretty well against Trinisphere, so not a huge deal. I'm gonna get my green fetch first. Yeah, it was a powerful start from my opponent, for sure. Just a couple Simian Spirit Guides, but I think we're actually in an okay spot here. I actually think this is... I would dare to say that we are... Advantage bar is on our side right now. Yo, how's it going, Jay, bro? Did you end up the trophy leader? I didn't get to see on the last day. I know Geeky Jackson was fighting for the spot, but maybe he was pretty far off. I don't know. Have you a card from the new set? What new set? Like the Strixhaven set? The creature that combos with Chain of Smog is probably pretty interesting. Geeky was fighting for 3rd. Okay, so they do have another follow-up, Engineer. That's probably not great for me. Opponent having land creature there is not good. Hell yeah, Jay, bro. Congrats. That's dope. Acre Wellspring. You don't say. Acre Wellspring, huh? Huh. All right, so we've got some time here. I still think it's worthwhile for us to be putting these lands in play so that we can fetch basics in case they top deck Blood Moon. Next turn is our first turn of playing a spell. We have to choose between Preordain, Emerald, or Astrolabe. Probably want to choose Emerald so that we can play Entrancing Melody and steal Bergie on the turn after. So my opponent's going to cycle out their Trinisphere at the end of my turn. Draw a card. But then I could, I don't know, it depends on what happens, I guess. Interesting draw here. Actually, I think I'm just going to hold everything up. Hold up in a lethal Coatl for the Bergie. And then maybe we can steal the Entrancing Melody on the turn after. Or steal the Engineer on the turn after. How would you time out J-Bro? That's rude. All right, so they're going to cycle out this Trinisphere for a Wellspring, which is something I highly recommend doing. Sounds like a great time. As I said, I'm really I'm loving my opponent's deck. It is a sweet one. I mean, I like opponent's deck, man. I'm kind of sad that I'm not playing the opponent's deck. Oh, they're gonna get so much mana. If they don't swap the Trinisphere in, okay, they swap At least I can actually hold up Force of Will too, which is pretty good. So they have 3 cards. They did draw twice off of that Wellspring, which is annoying. But I do still have Force of Will. So if they have a strong play here that I can't beat, I can match it. 5 mana. Is this going to be a Helm? Interesting. So I actually think that the Helm is allowed to... Is it the Helm or not? No, the Helm is not allowed to resolve. The Helm is not allowed to resolve. Even though they can't combo with it this turn, they can swap out and combo with it on the next turn. So I think I just have to force it. All right. They can't weld the Helm in either, which is nice. All right, so I go to 8 here. I I probably need to steal the engineer before I play like a blocking Coatl, so they can't get another Wellspring loop happening. I think this game is really close. I do think we have a chance. It really depends on the last card my opponent has. Very interesting games of Magic tonight so far. Misclicked and did not attack. Interesting. Uro. Yeah, I'm definitely just going to gain control of this Goblin Engineer. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think, I mean, I got to get their list, but it's definitely something I would be willing to play. All right, opponent, what do you got for me? A Simian Spirit Guide. Resolves. Strip Mine. Interesting. What I'm going to do here is cast the Emerald. And then I can Coatl in. Melody is honestly quite strong. I've had only high opinions of it since I started playing with it. No, this one is only your artifacts. All right, Coatl is in there. Bergie down. I'll take 2. I do think that Melody might be the least. Okay, Magus, fair. I actually can return Uro at this point, which is kind of sick. Not right now, but everything else kind of flows. Let's see. This is a mountain, right? It's a mountain. So let's start with Uro. Let's gain 3. No. And so I have Island, Island, Forest, Forest. So I think here I would rather just play Lebe, I guess. I don't know if that's better than playing Sapphire. All right, my opponent attacks for 4 here. I probably just chump. I don't know if I need to chump, but I'm not getting... I could actually activate this card, but it's really very hard for us to get artifacts into our yard. Especially with Loam gone. Oh, all of the Japanese arts are sweet. I definitely think I'll play with that Lightning Bolt. The Demonic Tutor is like otherworldly. Very impressed with the Demonic Tutor. I'm definitely going to get that Demonic Tutor as well. All right, so opponent found a spell. A defense grid. Don't care about a defense grid. I can tell you that much. Hydroblast. Sure. Blue, green. Oh, actually, I guess I should cycle some of these red, huh? Cycle this into blue. Green, green, blue. Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Draw a land here. I can still blast as well. Did not draw a land. I guess they could always blast my Uro, and then we're back at square one. Whoops. That's an Elder Giant. Was Dominate considered over Melody? The mana cost is really important, so I won't say that Dominate was considered over Melody, because I don't know what Dominate is. But I do think that... Yeah, I do think that the extra 1 mana is a big deal. Though instant speed is nice, but a lot of the times you're super pressured on mana in Vintage, so... Like, I really need to be casted on Deathrite Shaman as soon as possible. Yeah, that's the big reason I'm playing Melody is Deathrite Shaman. Because I chose not to go into a third color, my third color is Wastelands. So, uh-oh. Painter Servant. Named Blue. Yeah. I have tons of forces up, so I think we're gonna be okay. Yeah, let's just start with an attack. Sure. Yeah, you could. I mean, I actually think that like we use a Death Ray Shaman really well. The stealing permanence has been much better, just like taking Tarmogoyfs and stuff like that. So, what do I want to do here, chat? I have lots of options. I do need 6 mana to Defense Grid. I could also blast this Magus and strip mine the Ancient Tomb. I don't feel like that's super good. I guess I can just hold open everything, right? I need 6 mana because I need to pay 3 for Trinisphere. Well, actually, do I need to pay 3 for Trinisphere? If I play... How does this work? Cost 3 more. I actually don't think this works well, right? I just have to pay 3. Because I'm paying mana for the spell. Is that true? I should only have to pay 3 to force, right? This is kind of important. I think that's how this works, because this does not work well together. All right, so in that case, what I want to do is play the Sapphire out and start building my mana a little bit better. Yeah, I'm just wondering if I can make a play and force, because if I can make a play and force, then I'm in great shape, right? Yeah. So that was sick. That was sweet. I like that. I like that a lot. Sweet. Take it. Okay, chat. We're back. It's round 2. I played against Viceroy last night and they played Dredge and they wrecked me. I guess they might not be on Dredge, but the question really becomes like, if they're not on Dredge, this keep is quite strong. But if they are on Dredge, this keep is abysmal. But our game 1 versus Dredge is quite bad anyways. So I think that hedging for a non-Dredge matchup and having a pretty acceptable hand is like probably worthwhile. Obviously this Loam is kind of garbage right now, but yeah, I think I'm going to keep. If I get dredged, I get dredged. I was pretty low probability to win game 1 anyways. The way I could play, if I knew for sure that Viceroy was on dredge, I could mulligan down to try to find a wasteland. They were not on dredge, so we actually this greediness worked out in our favor here. So we actually have a pretty acceptable hand. Looks like they're going to be on bug. I definitely would wish we had like a fetch land so that we could loam, but ponder off Sapphire with a fetch land. A very strong play. Yeah, I am just going to go for... I'm going to snap off Growth Spiral and then... I don't know if I actually am allowed to do that. Am I allowed to do that? I might just pass with Growth Spiral up and hold up Fluster. It's a little unfortunate, because I could get Wastelanded and then I lose my green source. But the minute I draw another green source, I never have a problem. And it's kind of good to have them time walked for a turn. Unfortunately, in a situation like this, yeah, there's a wasteland. They didn't crack off of their ponder, so they definitely wanted their second card. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely grow spiral. All right. Well, not bad. In decent spot. See, the worst thing they could play for us here is probably Deathray Shaman. I really don't want to see a Deathray Shaman from the other side of the table right now. They have no follow-up play. That's pretty good for us. I'm looking for a fetch land, though. No fetch land. I'm just going to cast this Preordain and try to find a land drop for this turn. Perfect. I don't think I need that. I'm probably going to fetch anyways, but I want to hold open Flusterstorm still, seeing as they've cast nothing. But I will definitely play a nice Venkoatl at the end of turn. I actually think that Wasteland worked out really well for us. They didn't make any plays. We didn't really lose anything. Pretty good spot. I actually think this is like a super Flusterstormable target. Maybe it's aggressive, but Brainstorm with fetch land in this position is quite good. It's just be an underground sea. The question will become, what am I going to do with my next plays? Is this an oof? I'll Goyf. Goyf is fine. We can just go to our next turn. Drew a 4. So we have options. I think I like just loaming right now. Obviously, we do have the ability to go scroll ancestral. It's unfortunate that this is a Delta and not a Misty, because my Quaddle is still really far from being death touching. But this can be a Mystic Sanctuary on the next time, so kind of go a different route. It's possible I'm actually just supposed to scroll there and better use my mana, but I don't really think playing... it's kind of annoying, isn't it? It's not very good against Wasteland, though. I mean, not very good against Loam. Wasteland's not very good against Loam. The question will be, are they going to Wasteland me? If they do, am I dredging back Loam? They probably won't Wasteland me, I would think, but... This is a Leo. I am inclined to force it. Don't know what I can pitch, though. That's a huge issue. Am I allowed to even pitch this Coatl? Doesn't feel like I am. Kind of have to, though. Well, we have to trust in our ancestral, I think. Makes me really wish I had Merchant Scrolled. A problem will come if they have forced backup here. Not sure where we go from there. No, because this is so important that I would have to force back if it resolved, that I don't think I'm allowed to do that kind of play. I'm definitely not going to dredge loam. Uro. Interesting. Interesting. Uro. I think I am. Well, they have a wasteland, so actually I can't Mystic Sanctuary my ancestral this turn. I think I'm still supposed to just go for ancestral though. Especially with opponent at 2 cards left. Misdirection True Name was their last 2 cards. All right. Well, I have to force that. What do we got here? Definitely still not loaming. That's such a good draw. All right, so the question becomes, am I still supposed to go for a Mystic Sanctuary? Probably not. Probably just fetch Island. I don't actually want to get wastelanded here. So now I do think I'm going to dredge this loam. Didn't hit another land. It's kind of unfortunate. But now I can put now I can get ancestral again. And I also have an Oko. I'm just gonna hit this Goyf. Alright, we're like super far ahead now. As long as I don't draw a Leo off the top, I think we're gonna be winning this game. I guess I could draw ancestral. It's a good start. Because we do have... Maybe I'm supposed to crack. They could have another wasteland, I guess. They hit Treasure Cruise off of Preordain? It's insane. Oh no, they hit Abrupt Decay. Okay, that's fine. So we go to 10. We get an Ancestral Recall. We go to 9. Yeah, this is fine. Mystic Sanctuary, Ancestral Recall, yes, draw, no, Ancestral, no. Now we're gonna do it again. Scalding Tarn, crack, Sanctuary, Ancestral, yes, Probe, no. Ancestral, no. Oh, I need to find another basic, huh? I should loam then. Yeah, I should loam then. Oh, I don't have it instead. Oh, I don't have one this turn. Okay. Whoops. That's fine. I have a negation. I'm only at 5. I'll be at 4. I'm still going to end of turn this Coatl. No, I drew another land is not ideal there. I didn't dredge into an Uro. Maybe I was supposed to dredge into an Uro. Huh. I guess that's a consideration, is I could dredge into Uro or into, like, Wastelands. does give me 3 cards deep. The problem is my life total is so low. I think I'm gonna draw. It could be wrong though. Drew a land. All right, well, if they have Abrupt Decay, we might lose this game. Maybe I was supposed to just loam. Fuck. I have 3 Uros in my deck, right? No, I have 2 Uros in my deck. 2 Uros and 26. I feel like that's not good, though. I feel like I'm supposed to be drawing. This could be a really bad game for me here at the end. Looks like I don't know. They have an Abrupt Decay. I'm in, like, real trouble. The minute I hit an Uro, I should win. I hit the Abrupt Decay. Ah! I feel like we got so unlucky there. Okay, what do I do? Do I do? If I dredge loam, I have only 2 Uros, whereas I have way more other hits if I draw, but I do get to look at 3 cards. I'm just gonna draw. When I had 4 Uros, I feel like it was a pretty easy loam here, but I need to draw something good. I lost. How did I lose this game? That's so sad. I would have hit an Uro. No, it wasn't 6 land draws because I loamed 3 lands back. It was like 2 land draws or something. The real problem was I hit 3 counter spells and I hit no draw spells. Like if I hit a gush, I win the game on the spot. But I hit not the right set of cards. That's super sad because that game was like well in our control, but I don't know. Yeah, they played an Abrupt Decay. I could have dazed the Abrupt Decay. I don't think I had enough turns for that though. Maybe I missed it. I might have missed it. All right, I think Negation's really bad in this matchup. And I think really not a huge fan of Flusterstorm either. No, I probably missed it. There was probably a chance where I could have dazed the Abrupt Decay. Well, no, the turn I had dazed the Abrupt Decay, I got hit down to 5. So yeah, I guess I would have, because the last turn they didn't play any spells, right? I might have missed it. I should have dazed the Abrupt Decay at the very least. Like getting a Sanctuary is insane. Another Ancestral. So I probably fucked up. I just like was very confident that we were going to be good there. But maybe that was my own fault. No, I coaddled at end of turn with 2 mana, so that would not have worked out. Which maybe I should not have done anyways, but there was definitely a point where I could have dazed something and gotten back a Sanctuary and probably won the game, so it's my own fault. But I think I just like didn't foresee that as I didn't foresee missing as a thing that could have happened. But I guess I had already missed at that point, so it was just a really bad play. I don't know. Sus. Super sus. I just like really didn't think it was possible to lose from there, but I guess if they draw exactly Decay and I brick out, then I guess I guess I could have lost. So That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying about this deck is if you make one mistake, you get fucked, like, really badly. And I made, like, one small mistake where, like, didn't see some kind of line and I lost. Even though I was, like, infinitely far ahead. I also, like, never hit a Wasteland in my first 40 cards, which would have locked the game up, because I would have just taken them off of colored mana. But that's another thing that just didn't fall my way. Maybe this Time Walk was not a great card to leave on top. Especially because I think Brainstorm might be the best play next turn, because I don't need this many growth spirals. Yeah. I mean, they can't daze me, so if they don't have a Force of Will, I just get to go Oko. And Oko the Elk, which is very good for me, so... But, I mean, they kept a 7 on the draw, so they probably have Force. 50-50 chance, right? Oh, I drew my own Force. Okay. All right. Man, I just need to recover from probably punting away that game. But you definitely saw the power of Double Sanctuary there. Another Abrupt Decay. Man, Abrupt Decay is pretty annoying this matchup. It's why I have a Misdirection in my deck, but... yeah. Annoying. It's a really good draw. Those are really strong draws. I'm just going to get rid of both of these growth spirals as we don't really have a way to abuse them right now. I think this is supposed to fetch a forest. And then I'll hit this Underground Sea. And we are getting clocked at the moment, but that shouldn't be a huge deal. I won't be able to leverage my library super well because I turned this into an elk and immediately lost my Oko. But we do have a library in play, so... all right, 12. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be... I mean, maybe I can pay for one card if I find, like, a Coatl, but... Strip Mine. Well, now a Coatl plan doesn't really seem like it's going to pan out. If they play a Goyf here, I probably have to force it. Okay. All right, they have another Deathrite Shaman. Ah, should I force it? I think I'm supposed to. Keeps them cut off of all colors of mana. Keeps one less creature on board. Immediately drew the Entrancing Melody that would have stolen the Deathrite Shaman. Annoying. I think I'm just supposed to Ancestral, because I don't... do I just want to put the Gush on the bottom? Getting this forest really backfired, didn't it? The problem is I want that Entrancing Melody, so if I preordain away the Gush, I'm still just drawing an Entrancing Melody and passing. Obviously, there's some downside to doing this on my turn, but... Okay, I go to 8 next turn. I can always steal this elk, which is nice. They did draw a blue land, which is not good for Justin. Any 2-drop here is probably bad for me. Do we mental misstep this? There's not that many other mental misstep targets. It does put us down to 2 swings, but as long as I can find a fetch land this turn and steal the elk, then I solve that problem. Can I get a land? Okay. Uh, like one of those, please. Like it's dazed. Bad. All right. What's your best 2-drop? I guess land Leovold is also insane here. So I think we've stabilized, but we are not in the greatest spot. Bruise. It's a good one. 6 cards in hand. No land drop off of those cards. Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah, Wasteland would be nice for sure. We're gonna probably draw through all of these cards. I might pay once here. Go to 2. Then I'm dead to any Deathrite Shaman. I guess I don't really want to do that. Oh, it used my snow mana. Mother. Of course it did. Do I want this land? I want a coatl. I figure if I want this land too. I think I do. Should I leave open Fluster? Instead of playing Astrolabe? What could they cast? Ancestral, I guess? There's not that many good spells to Fluster is the problem. I think it's fine. Okay. At least I can Tarn away things next turn. The biggest issue is like a Deathrite or a Leovold, right? Don't have a counterspell. They drew a land, so they're probably going to slam a Leovold. Although the Leovold can't attack me, it does prevent a lot of the fun things I'd like to be doing with my life. Yeah, I don't think leaving up this Fluster was particularly correct. Like, what are they going to draw that I can counter here? There's basically nothing besides Ancestral if they didn't have a land. Definitely wanted to draw a Wasteland that turn. Maybe I should have bottomed in that case. I don't know. Having a coatl here is pretty important. So surgically extract force of will. I'm gonna make him pay. No, I don't. I do not think. I don't think Fluster is good, which is why I didn't bring another Fluster in. I think I boarded a Fluster out. Okay, I just like. All right, I wanted them to pay so that they wouldn't Leovold me, but doesn't look like that's happening here. Surgical extraction, huh? I guess we are an Uro deck. I assume this is just Leovold, and I can't answer, so... Oh, Abrupt, that's fine, don't care. I mean, I care, but that's definitely the least worrying outcome that could have happened there. I mean, if they follow this up with Ancestral now, I would be sad, I guess. But they would have seen my Fluster off of Surgical. Pretty sure we need to, like, play a Borrower and get the beats on. Oh, come on! You gotta be kidding me. Sure. Why not play the Ancestral before the Abrupt Decay so that you couldn't get dazed? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's just not very good. It's a good draw. Oh, that's kind of unfortunate. The way that I played this is kind of unfortunate because I can't actually Astrolabe because I want this to be a Mystic Sanctuary. Whoops. Oh, I guess I couldn't have played it and had it been still been a Sanctuary, so I guess I had to just consign myself to my fate of not being able to do things there. Yeah, I should. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it looks like a close game, but it doesn't feel like it's close. They have so many cards. I guess I guess we could put an Entrancing Melody on the top of our library as well. I guess they could just force the Uro though. But I could still 8 Labe after. Ooh, this game's really close. I didn't think it was going to be very close, but then my opponent went cruise into Ancestral, so... That's kind of how these mid-range matchups do go. It's just like who draws Ancestral, and I had the Ancestral early, but kind of fell a little flat on the execution-wise. Top, bottom, bottom. I guess that's good. That's not good. Yeah, that's an annoying one. Especially when they play a creature after, or find an Abrupt Decay. Dig through time. That's not the end of the world, though. Creature? I guess I could bounce a Goyf. Or they're just gonna cast Dig? That's insane. Why would you do that? Huh. So... Okay, let's think about that. I guess they could just get forced. We have so many options next turn. We almost kill them by just going Sanctuary Time Walk, but I can't draw an extra card until after I kill the Narset. Or I could bounce the Narset. Then I can get dazed. Sure hope they didn't find their jet there. They play a land drop yet? I guess they haven't played a land drop, and they're gonna go kill my Deathray Shaman. Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty bad. Oh, okay. That's okay though. Well, I guess if I get forced, it's not okay, but all right. So I bounce the Tarmogoyf. I kill the Narset. I go Scalding Tarn, Sanctuary, Time Walk, Astrolabe, Time Walk, or no, I think that's the best line. All right, attack Narset. I think attacking Narset's better because I don't have lethal no matter what. Viceroy. And then Scalding Tarn, Fetch, Sanctuary, Time Walk. I think Time Walk is the best choice here. Astrolabe. Draw Time Walk. Cast Time Walk. Does it resolve? It resolves. Draw. Untap. Can I Time Walk somehow? I can draw a card with this tutor by casting Uro. Gush. I don't have a Gush. Well then, I should have known that. What do I want to draw off this Uro? No matter what it is, I can't cast it this turn. Maybe it's an Entrancing Melody. Maybe Loam. I could just hold open hard cast, Misdirection. Maybe it's just Entrancing Melody then. Loam is not bad because I can get Wasteland. But the problem is I can't cast it this turn, right? I guess Melody makes the most sense. I'd be really sad if that got misdirected. I think I'm going to get the Entrancing Melody. I kind of wish I hadn't cast this Mystical Tutor, to tell you the truth. Maybe the answer is actually just Loam. The problem is I can't use Loam this turn, but I can't use Melody either. We get Entrancing Melody. Maybe Daze is fine. Yeah, but I won't need that till the next turn anyways. I'm not drawing this Daze until I turn my Uro into a creature, so... But Daze might just be good at, like, stopping their turn, so that maybe that works better. If this is the case, then there's no reason for me not to play this first. I should put a non-wastelandable land. I want to make this Tarmogoyf smaller. Enchantment. Planeswalker. Land, I guess. Okay, they're at 4. I have an Uro, an Elk, a Coatl, and a Daze. I'm gonna Daze anything they play so I can get my Sanctuary back. They use their Time Walk? No. Deathrite resolves. Tarmogoyf gets dazed. Tarmogoyf's only a 4/5 now because of the Uro coming back. And then we put Time Walk back on top, attack all. Maybe I should have put that in with the Uro trigger. No, whatever. This all just comes in. No, that's not how the thing works. Definitely had to do it pre-Uro. And then we Time Walk, and we win. I guess they could have Force of Will. Ever wanted to Time Walk again, chat? I love this. This deck is so cool, man. Why? Because it made it lethal. What? What? Why wouldn't you do it? It made it lethal. They had to block in the way they did. I guess I didn't have to attack with a 3/3. You're right, because they can just jump with the Deathrite anyways. That didn't really matter. Maybe I shouldn't attack with the Elk. You're right. All right, I have to win very fast in game 3 because I fucked up game 1. If we can do this. Still think this is all the same. 6 minutes versus 8 minutes. I guess we're not that far behind. You're right. I shouldn't have attacked with Deathrite Shaman. I really wasn't thinking about it. I felt like attack all was correct, but I guess it wasn't. That's a good hand. Sure. Deathrite Shaman. All right. So I'm going to go Island, Astrolabe. Ooh, never mind. I'm just going to go Tarn, Sapphire, Needle. They're going to misstep it. I think I'm still willing to actually put my Flusterstorm here. It's a little aggressive, but I do think that like the Deathrite Shaman makes my game plan so bad that I think it's worth. Okay. Small payoffs here. Maybe Flusterstorm is fine. I don't think I'm supposed to lead on Ancestral there. Maybe I was. Just kind of seems unnecessary in the scheme of things. I don't know why I did that. Mental misstep. I kind of want land though, at the very least. It's called good deck building slasher. You'll learn at some point here. Mystic Sanctuary. That's going to be a pretty good one. This game should be very over. I don't know. I'm playing fast. I'm not playing well. I'm just trying to play fast. I have 5 minutes to win a game, and my deck does not win games fast. Sorry. Unfortunate. Missed attack for no reason. Goify Goif, sure. I'm actually going to put the Fluster on top so I can resolve this Uro. We can get back the Ancestral later. And now we'll Mystic Sanctuary, put back the Ancestral. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe I'm supposed to draw it with Preordain so I can't get like Surgical or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to play fast, chat. If I don't play perfect, I'm sorry. True name, wow. And a Fluster. Uh, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I didn't actually want to bottom that. Whatever. That doesn't actually cast True Name. Hilarious. Guess I should have cast that mid-combat, huh? I guess I did. This deck is so sick. I love this deck so much, chat. It's incredible. I should not have tapped my Wasteland, because now they can get a non-basic there, which is just a bad play. But I'm just kind of I'm going through motions at the moment. Oh yeah, no, I don't recommend like taking any of the play in game 3 as strong gameplay from my part. I really am trying to win this game as fast as possible because our deck does not clock very fast. I'll just daze back one of these Mystic Sanctuaries in case I want to do Ancestral again, you know? For fun. Oh, let's go! I came back from the fuck up in game 1. I love this deck is wild. This deck is wild. Oh, this deck's so cool, man. All right, chat. Woo, we're here. Round 3, Vintage Challenge versus Ennui. Probably. They were playing Rug last night in a Vintage League. I don't know if they're playing that today. Magic Bot says Dredge 20 days ago, but I would assume more like Rug. I do think this hand's actually quite good against Rug, except for Wasteland. I'm probably going to keep it. It's a little greedy. It's definitely on the greedy side of things, but we do have a lot of lands in our deck, and our double force hand is pretty strong. Looks like it'll be Rug. Yeah, this is obviously super greedy versus Wasteland. I get that. But if I draw a normal land on turn 1, then I can actually library as well, which is really strong, which is what I did. I'm gonna slam a library here. I am gonna fetch basics because I think they could be on Ren and 6. Obviously, if we get dazed, it's sad, but can't really play around that. Force of Will. Yeah, I'll force back. Well, I guess they could have Pyroblast. I think that's worth it. I think if our library resolves, we should be in such good shape. Okay. So they have 2 cards in hand. We have 3 cards in hand. I would dare say that our 3 cards are probably better than theirs, but they could be. They might not be. They have Ren here. Like, land Ren's pretty good. They have nothing. Okay. Growth Spiral, not the strongest card, but it pitches to Misdirection. And this is the big thing. Like, someone was asking about Fast Bond versus Growth Spiral. Growth Spiral pitches to Misdirection here, and it's actually quite good. Hopefully this Merchant Scroll resolves. It did, so I get an Ancestral, which is fantastic. I am going to play the Sanctuary out. I think it's important to be able to play around Flusterstorm next turn. All right, hopefully they don't have another Pyroblast, because we're about to go get them. Ah, they had Force of Will, Brain Freeze. So they actually are on Breach. All right, it's unfortunate. Both sides cast 2 pitch spells each. Demonic Tutor, so we probably are dying. Maybe they'll just get a mental misstep. I don't know. My opponent's hand was just as good as ours, if not better, because they didn't have to merchant scroll for Ancestral. They just had it. Can't. This scroll spiral looks like shit, but what are we gonna do? Ancestral target myself. They did DT for misstep. I guess I could find my own misstep here, so might as well try. Did not find my own misstep. All right. The person who resolves Ancestral normally wins, so let's see if that is the case here. No follow-up. It's a good sign. They didn't draw. Stop drawing growth spirals, all right? It's not good right now. Interesting. I think that's a pretty easy kill the Underground Sea. Oh, we're dead. Unfortunate. Yeah, this is just a very classic vintage game of one player resolved Ancestral, one player did not resolve Ancestral. I guess they could brick here. This Ancestral could hit 3 lands. I guess that would make them also be able to cast another Ancestral. So that probably wouldn't work out very well. But they've now resolved 3 Ancestrals this game. Very fun. Ooh, a 4th Ancestral just to get spicy, you know? God, I hate this. So sad. Nope, they have 8 cards in hand. They have to pitch to hand size. Fantastic. Ah, another Force of Will. Fun. Yeah. I mean, did we ever have a chance of winning this game? I don't really think so. Oh, they are playing green. Interesting. I think we just, with the cards we had 0 chance to ever win because opponent had slightly better hand. Kind of fucked. I hate when they have their on-color Moxen to cast Pyroblast on turn 1. Really, really unfortunate. Yeah. Well, that was an interesting game. We even had Force of Will Misdirection. Opponent just had double. All right. So be it. Hydroblast comes in. Is there anything else we actually want in this matchup? Surgical Extraction seems fine. It's kind of all I want. Mystical Tutor goes out, and a Nice Fang goes out. So they are on Rug, they're just on Rug Breach. I don't know, maybe. I don't know if I own a blue Elemental Blast. Oh, this is a hand, isn't it? I think this is a keeper. It's not stellar, but has a Force of Will, has mana restriction with Wasteland, has some ways to start gaining advantages. It's not a great hand, but I don't think I'm allowed to mulligan it. Another Moxen hand from my opponent. Fantastic. I mean, it's definitely worth the ticket. It's probably not even worth a ticket, so I just didn't think about it. I don't want to force this. I'm going to, but I don't want to. Why can't I have a Moxen ever, man? I don't think it's worth wastelanding here. I think I would rather go up to my 3 drops. I don't know. My hands have just been so much worse than my opponents. Maybe it's because I didn't mulligan that one, but I was on the play, but my opponent now has like twice as much mana as me. Karma for our last two matches? Why would you say that? We played really well the last two matches. I think our hands were super absurd. I mean, maybe our game 3 hand was too absurd from last round. Sure. Also, our opponent probed us, so they know about misdirection. I don't know. It just kind of feels like a lot. This game is a lost hope here. My opponent is just doing way more powerful things because they've drawn the same cards that we have in our deck, but they drew them first. So maybe that's really on me for not actually mulliganing my 7-card hand and to try to find something better. But maybe it's on my opponent for having a 7-card hand that's so much better. Not much I can do. Not much I can do. I don't really think playing the Sapphire into an active Dak Faden is the way to go either. I don't know. What are we gonna do here? I think we're just gonna get double trop because Stone Coil shouldn't matter, but having the colors matters. I guess we could technically go Sapphire Oko. It's just such a medium play. Doesn't really feel good. And then turn the Sapphire into an Elk right away, but not be able to attack. Kind of hate it. All right. I mean, I'm still 2 cards away from Uro. What the? It's just not worth it, chat. It's not worth playing. These matches are not close. The quality of my opponent's cards is so much higher. Sure. Yeah. All right. Well, we were always gonna lose this one. What am I supposed to do? It's fucked up, man. It doesn't really matter that we got Breach killed either because my opponent just drew like all restricted blue and black cards, right? So it's not really like Breach was the problem there. It was just vintage things that were happening. Well, 10-minute round. Very nice. All right, we're back, chat. Round 4 versus a powerful wizard, the power 9. Probably on Breach, PO, or Jeskai. Not sure which one. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, this is a hand I'm willing to keep. These growth spirals have looked medium. When they're good, they're really good. But when they're bad, I mean, when they're bad, they just cantrip or pitch to forces. So it's not really the end of the world. Underground Sea. Uh-oh. Tinker? Anyone got any Tinkers? No, not Tinker. All right. Yeah, probably just PO then. We have a pretty reasonable hand versus PO. I think I'm looking at end of turn Coatl here. Probably just off of Trop. Shouldn't really need my Coatl to have Death Touch. Isn't PO unplayable? No, I think PO's fine. You can build your PO deck to be better versus Bug. I bet I could win the tournament with PO. I mean, I'll probably play PO for the showcase. I think that's kind of likely. I don't think Paradox Outcome has been performing extremely poorly in Vintage in the recent times. Have you found Death Touch to be useful? Yes, incredibly useful. That's why I have it in my deck. People are playing Archon of Emeria and Tarmogoyf. So I'm a pretty big fan of Death Touch. Interesting they chose to get the Mox Opal out here using the top. It's the whole reason that I'm playing the Coatl is Bant and Bug. I mean, maybe they have Ancestral plus Flusterstorm here, and that's why they made this play, but I need to progress my game plan, so... Interesting. I kind of need to draw land here, though. Okay, sweet. So now I'm pretty set up to just go Library Fluster and then pay 8 life on my next turn. Pretty happy to be there. And if I don't have to Fluster, I can just Mystical for an Ancestral. Force Pitching Spiral, Flusterstorm, Mystical. Coatl is not the fastest clock in the world, but it is PO. They used a Force on my library. I'm pretty sure that's fine. It's a pretty big win for us. 2 cards left in hand. We have a Force. We have a Fluster, you know? Not bad spot. They're going to be playing top to start here. And I don't think I'm countering top. Obviously, it's a good card in the long game, but... We're going to slam an end step tutor here because they don't have the mana to play PO. I'm just going to grab an Ancestral. Then we're going to cast Ancestral. Need land drops, so I got to cast an... Oh, they have Pyroblast off of Opal? That is insane. That's so brutal. Oh, Pyro off of Opal. It's okay. We're going to just Flusterstorm it. Mox Opal OP. I love the old power on Magic Online. Looks really nice. All right, so we still have a Force for a PO. We're about to draw 3 more cards as well. Oh, they have Fluster and Pyro as their last 2 cards? Okay, that ended poorly for me. I guess we're actually not in a very good spot because my opponent had mono counter magic. And they have an active top. So I actually think we're losing now. I didn't really expect my PO opponent to have Force, Pyroblast, Fluster, all mana. But I guess that is a way it could go. We kind of need to immediately draw like Uro or Oko, I guess. I thought we would be really ahead after the Force on the Sylvan Library, but getting Ancestral countered was not in my vision. Opt to draw to a PO, maybe? To draw into, yeah. Oh, a Hardcast Citadel, yeah. No bueno. All right. Uro is not a thing yet, but Matt Murray and I are trying to figure it out. Not a great draw here, because opponent's just going to draw a top and play a top. And I can't... If I hit another land drop, I do have an Ancestral, so... I mean, if opponent just finds PO off of this top, we lose, right? And I don't really think there was much that I would have played differently if I did it again. I'm pretty sure fighting over Ancestral was the correct call. Yeah, I mean, Oko's a 2 of and a 3 of, and Bug and Bant, and I have Oko in my deck here. Wow, there's just a PO on their top 3. I mean, I feel like we're getting super out vintage today. Maybe I was supposed to force a top along the way. Jeez, I don't know. Opponent had no bad draws, right? They had only the best cards. Tough to say. All right. I mean, we could still easily have a way out of this game. It's not over, but it's kind of really strong. Just the Pyroblast was basically the kicker. Pyroblast off of Opal is just like so brutal. But maybe I could have played this game differently, and there's something I'm not seeing. I don't think my opponent's playing Breach. I think my opponent is just playing Grixis PO, or 4-color PO. Repeal your Opal. Okay. Force? 2 Flusterstorms, 1 Pyroblast, 2 Force. All right. Force pitching Fluster and a Snap. Damn, Schalke's gonna win this game. That's insane. Yeah, I don't know. What am I gonna do? I disagree. I disagree so hard, Raphael. I disagree so much. I found it ancestral. All right, well. I don't know. I feel like my opponent's cards were just better than mine in this game, but like none of my cards were. I mean, Tutor was the only card that was disadvantage. Every other card was like drawing cards and countering spells. They just had better cards again. This is what happened last round with Breach, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm just not playing enough broken cards or something. I don't know. I mean, the top really screwed us this game, so maybe the whole problem was I didn't force top, right? That's totally possible. My opponent didn't even fetch a volcanic. Like, it's just incredibly lucky that my opponent had the Opal, right? Pyroblast, yeah, I'm never gonna force the Pyroblast there. I think that's insanity. Expecting my opponent to have double 1 mana counter spells is, I think, not really a strong play. I don't know. Did you see rounds 1 and 2? We destroyed them. I think it's actually better to counter this now, and the reason is because if they get a PO and wait till my turn, they're going to tap me out, and I won't be able to play a spell that I draw. Like, if Ancestral had resolved in this game, I think we were, like, super far ahead, right? But we just got destroyed by Power Blast Fluster, so. Yo, Jace, almost 2 years. That's incredible. Thank you for the support. Wow, 23. Sure. I mean, I think we should just be considered lucky that my opponent didn't PO into PO. They only PO'd into Ancestral, you know? Like, from the PO side of this matchup, like, I've watched Hardcast Force. All right, 3 forces. Like, there's so many ways that you can brick out from this side of the table. Like, if you draw a bunch more Moxen, Mana Crypt Moxen, you lose the game, right? But my opponent hasn't drawn a bunch more Moxen. They've drawn Ancestral, Fluster, Pyro, Citadel, PO, like no blanks, right? I need another counter spell, but I don't have many more counter spells left in my deck. It's not going to do it. Nope. Okay. All right, so we're going to bring in... I don't actually think Hydroblast is even good in this matchup. I'm just going to bring in Vigor and Claim. Like, we're already very pre-boarded for the matchup. All we needed was an engine, basically, to draw cards. Like, we needed to find an Uro or have resolved the Sylvan library, and we would have, like, run away with the game. But we didn't draw those, so... we can just take out 1 Coatl as well. I guess 1 Astrolabe is better than taking out 1 Coatl, so... yeah. Fine. It's a little rough that we would like. I actually think if I could play against any deck, PO is probably one of the ones I would prefer to play against. Like, just look at the sheer interaction that we have. Bug creatures kind of have to deal with Deathrite Shaman. It's been very good today. We played against mono red in round one, red like Bergy prison deck in round one, and then we played against Bug in round two. Then we played against Breach in round three. Melody's been very good. Been very impressed with Melody. Yeah, I wonder if we could have. I do wonder if there's something I'm missing in game one that we could have played differently, but we actually play pretty well against 2020s in this deck because we have Coatl to block, Oko to turn it off, and Wasteland to disrupt. I think we're actually extremely strong against depth decks. Yeah, it gets a little rough because like we don't have more. Like we have Hydroblast, and that's basically our only post-board combo hate because we're very main decked for it. Maybe we need a Mindbreak Shot would not have helped us in that game, but yeah, I guess I could have sequenced differently, right? I could have forced the Pyroblast and Flusterstorm. Were they tapped out? Would the Flusterstorm even work? Why are there Veil? Because I have to put cards for you have to have cards in your deck for Shops and Dredge. You can't just play only cards for blue decks. This is fine. Don't really want to see a snow-covered forest in this matchup, but no, Dredge is pretty like bad right now because Bug is one of the best decks in the format. It's like a 40% win rate deck, and it hasn't been able to top 8 challenges recently. Like, it's not doing well. Like, Dredge is very strong and very powerful, but like, if you play against Bug, you're wrecked. Deathrite Shaman, Wasteland. It's not good. I think my deck is an incredibly good Dredge matchup. Though I actually obviously had to work on it in the sideboard, but Dredge is one of the decks keeping blue decks honest, and I think that's really important because I think blue decks are the strongest decks in Vintage by a lot right now. Yeah, I'm like mostly Italian and German. I'm not sure actually. Another force and another land. Yeah, I think these are the cards I want to see. I am American, yes. I understand. I'm not like super far removed from, you know, my relatives that emigrated over, so I'm not like super close, but sure. Okay, so Black Lotus? Hmm. I think I'm gonna cast this Growth Spiral. Am I gonna cast this Growth Spiral? Kind of needed to pitch to Force, don't I? I guess I can't really cast this Growth Spiral. It's kind of frustrating. Oh, we're just casting Tinker? Okay. Force backup. Okay. I think I have to cast I think I have to pitch Flusterstorm here if I want to be able to play Magic later in this game. Have a follow-up, or are we just gonna be all in on Tinker plan? All in on Tinker plan. Fair? Fair? This fetch land draw was really good, as it's our 5th card for Uro. Snap off a misstep on that. Not a chance. Alright, we're pretty in control of this game. But could always get out of hand. They could just draw Ancestral into, I don't know, something. I guess I should have left Preordain as my card. That was a bit of a mistake. I could always buy back Preordain. I mean, they made me have double force, and I had double force, so Pyroblast. Time Walk. Okay. No, I cut Loam post board. It's a really good draw. I now have Mystic Sanctuary as well. Yeah, let's pass the turn. I mean, this is exactly how the matchup I think should go normally, right? Like I counter their all in on PO combo, and then I outgrind them with an Uro. I think that's like pretty typical for this kind of matchup. But it was a little bit too much in game 1. I would consider this to be a pretty heavy, not heavy, because I am not playing Pyroblast, so I wouldn't consider this deck to be a heavy favorite versus PO. But I think it's definitely favored. Drew the Ancestral. That's the way you get out of this. All right. Beautiful. That's exactly what we wanted to see. We just run it back. I don't think I think P9 played that correctly, right? As the PO player, when your Flusterstorm opponent is tapped out, going all in for Tinker with Force Backup is just the right call. But I'm playing 6 forces in my deck and a Misdirection, you know, and a Daze, so just didn't work out. I think I like the play that Justin made. It just didn't work out. Another problem is that they might not know, but I'm boarding in 3 Vigors as well. So if they went for Blows the Citadel, we might be able to beat that too. No force in this hand, but definitely a keeper. No. Misdirection is not great in this matchup, but it's still kind of a free counter spell, so you keep it. This hand could definitely be better with a force in it, but hopefully we can get a couple mulligans. I mean, you never want your opponent to mulligan. You always want your opponent to mulligan, but in terms of playing a fun match of Magic, no. But this hand gets a lot better if my opponent is lower on resources. So mulligans would be very beneficial for this hand. They kept their 7. Okay. Volk. Okay. Ancestral on my upkeep. Nope. Let's probe. Yeah, I think misdirection is better than force of negation number 3. Especially because one of our weirder matchups is bug, where you want to be able to misdirect abrupt decays. That is an interesting keep from our opponent. They kept a very Flusterstorm Pyroblast heavy hand with a Citadel in it already. Very odd. All right, so if they play top, will they be able to keep it? No, we can actually beat the top. All right, this is really good for us. Yeah, if they jam top here, we would be able to beat it. But if they wait, they can get it to resolve. Smart play by them. Another land. Okay. Definitely going to try to play this slow. Now, playing it slow, not my specialty. I just need to try to restrain myself from going too hard. They did top deck a land. We will definitely fight over this. They might go Pyroblast, Flusterstorm Protection here. If they are Pyroblasting this or Flusterstorming this, I don't know if I'm really supposed to fight over it, though. Doesn't feel like I should. Looks like they are going to fight over it. I don't know, like, we obviously don't win this fight, right? Well, I'm definitely going to Growth Spiral end of turn. That's for sure. Hmm. I guess it's just going to resolve. Unfortunately, they had that covered, but not the end of the world. It is a really good card against us, though. That's for sure. Yeah, if they want to Pyroblast my Growth Spiral, I think that's okay with me. We draw a fetch land, we can actually play the fetch land instead. We didn't, so we can play the Sanctuary. Might do the Gush Uro play. Gush back my Tropicals. The only problem with the Gush play is the Pyro, but that's fine. Green, blue, Gush. Emerald. This. Uro. I'm okay if they Pyroblast this. That won't matter too much to me. My deck plays through defensive Pyroblast really well. The only issue is offensive Pyroblast is protecting their spells, but Pyroblast hitting my Uros is like, who gives a fuck, right? It's nice playing a deck that doesn't like just fold to Pyroblast. They're definitely considering this Pyroblast. I would not Flusterstorm back, not a chance. Gushing back Mystic Sanctuary? I don't think so. But it's possible. I'm just going to get to another Mystic Sanctuary here. So it's not really a huge deal. This deck does really powerful things. That's for sure. I think once they go for spin on this turn, I'll definitely Growth Spiral. Oh, they're going to repeal? Wow. Okay. Yeah. So we have a lot going on right now. We've got Sanctuary number 2 coming up. We can Mystical for Ancestral. We can replay Uro and do a bunch of the other things. Maybe we're supposed to Mystical for Time Walk. Really? Possible. We're certainly doing things. The question will become, is it the best use of our stuff? I have a second Sanctuary in my deck, chat. So the question will be, what are we mystical for? Ancestral, probably Ancestral. And then on the next turn, we can just cast Ancestral, Mystical Sanctuary it back with this land, cast Ancestral, Alpha Uro. I mean, I can still, like, it's possible I can still do other things, right? Wow, they found the Lotus to cast their Citadel. That could be pretty problematic. We'll have to keep that in mind. I do think I'm just going to crack this for not a Mystic Sanctuary. I kind of want to put Gush back though, too, don't I? It's kind of interesting. Time Walk makes Uro like so good is the only thing. But I think I'm going to go for Ancestral. They might just counter this with Pyroblast, which would be pretty good play, I think. Now let's see if I can play this correctly. They probably want to Pyroblast my Uro more than anything, but the Ancestral is obviously annoying, so I am just going to let the Pyroblast happens because I'm not flustering. No, I'm not flustering here, chat. Maybe I'm supposed to put Gush back. Am I supposed to put Gush back instead of Ancestral? Probably, actually. Actually, I screwed this up, didn't I? Because if my opponent slams a Citadel next turn, we need to be able to bounce and fluster, don't we? I've already played my land drop, right? I should not have played my land drop? No, I had to play my land drop. I don't think I'm allowed to go for it this turn. Because my opponent has Citadel and Pyroblast. If they just cast Citadel and I can't bounce it, I lose, right? Well, I kind of need to have Fluster and Pyro. Like, if I play the one from my hand, I can bounce, but I can't protect. I don't think I'm allowed to play it at all. I think we have to wait one more turn. It feels bad, but and next turn we can just gush our 2 sanctuaries, you know, get back everything, so it's really weird we don't have a Force of Will or Negation yet. We kind of needed one in this game. I think I have to make this line due to I know what my they repealed my Emerald again. It's fine. So they're trying to find like a land. Okay, yeah. So now they have. I mean, we could still lose this. Kind of depends on what's on top. Yeah, I mean, there's not much I can do about it. I have to make this play. It's so unfortunate that they found Lotus for their Citadel that's been in their hand since the beginning of this game. It's possible we could have tutored for Forest. I think that's probably worse than doing whatever we did. All right, so they have a Pyroblast, and then I have a Flusterstorm, and I'm going to get both of these spells and hope that their card on top is not Force of Will. Or Pyroblast or Flusterstorm. This is the only play I could make. So if they have Force or Pyroblast on the top of their library, we lose. But I mean, I made the line that I had to make, right? So that's so fucked. They're so good. They're so good, dude. Just had a blind fluster on top. Holy shit, we're so unlucky. Fuck. They didn't set it up with top because they repealed. They didn't spin top. I don't know, man. I feel like we played that so well. And we just got fucked. What am I supposed to do? Jesus. I feel like we played it so good. What? It's so stupid. I don't know, man. That's some fucked up shit. I can't believe we lost this game. I felt so favored at every point. I don't know, whatever. What do we get? We got Ancestral. We need to start chaining, though. Like, we have to start doing the thing. I don't know, man. That's so fucking insane. I should have gotten Time Walk, right? Maybe that's the fuck up. What did I get? I got Ancestral. Did we resolve an Ancestral? What happened to Ancestral? No, they Pyroblasted it. Wait a second, they Pyroblasted it? So they drew a third Pyroblast? Wait. So they drew land Pyroblast. They drew Mox Pyroblast and then had Fluster on top. That's just drawing all the best possible cards at every, like, that's just demonic tutoring the best thing at every point, right? We knew they had a pyro. Oh. That's their third repeal? Or they Yagwell this turn or something? I can't believe... Yeah, alright, whatever. Let's go look at it. I think we just got luck sacked real bad there, because I thought... I don't know. Maybe I played it bad. I want to see if I can figure out if, like, all the games we've lost today just feels like we didn't have good enough cards to win, you know? Yeah, that was the Pyroblast that we knew about. That's even worse. They can't win this game unless they spin into Lotus. Lotus is the only way they can win this game. Because their only plan right now is this cast the Citadel in their hand. I think if you take this situation with a random deck order from this turn, like 100 times, we probably win like 90 of them, right? All right, so this is the concern. Is this Mystical Sanctuary, or is this Mystical Tutor correct? So we can Mystical Tutor for Time Walk, and then Gush on the top of the library. That was probably better. But we were never able to protect our spell no matter what, because they had too many... They had too much mana, though. If they had to crack their Lotus, then they couldn't cast Citadel, so... So if I had flustered this Pyroblast... I forgot to move this Pyro... I played this game like they already had 2 Pyroblasts, which is insane that they just ended up having second Pyroblast. So this should have been a Time Walk. So if we had taken Time Walk and we had gone Emerald here and played Time Walk, same mana count, 1, 2, third spell, 4 spell. They could pay for it if I flustered, but if not, then it's fine. And then we wouldn't have been able to get the Uro back from our yard. We would have had to gone Crack, Sanctuary, Time Walk back on, or Gush on top, Uro from our hand, bring back both of our Sanctuaries, and then we go to our Time Walk turn. Yeah, we probably played this terribly. So we use the Uro in our hand to bring back the Gush, and then on our Time Walk turn, we Gush back the 2 Sanctuaries. We Sanctuary back a Time Walk. Yeah, we won. We had this game won, and I fucked it up. I threw it. Oh, maybe I guess they could have had 2 Pyroblasts right here as well. But then the once they use the Lotus, though, that we win the game. So if they don't counter the Time Walk, then we can cast Uro that turn. Yeah, we threw this game. I think we actually had this to just won. I think we have this game won. So we instead of Ancestral here, we have an Emerald in play and cast Time Walk. 4 mana left over. We fluster this Pyroblast. They can either pay for it, or they can let it go. Then we have 3 mana remaining. We crack the Sanctuary, put the Time Walk back on top. Put the Gush back on top. Use the Uro from our hand to draw the Gush. And then on the next turn, we Gush back the 2 Sanctuaries, play a Sanctuary on Time Walk, Uro from our yard. Bring back. Yeah. I threw this game. I should have gotten Time Walk and I should have fought over it. Yeah. Cracking the Lotus is also a way we win the game, so I didn't go aggressive enough this time. I mean, cracking the Lotus isn't the game, but it's their main game plan is to play the Citadel, right? So that instead, if we make them crack the Lotus, they have to go like find a mentor, find an ancestral or something. That's so tilting. So I mean, we could never beat Enwi because they drew like a zoomer, but we definitely could have won that match, and that's probably on me. Okay, round 5 vintage challenge. Looks like we'll have a fair matchup here, so maybe we get to show off the fair matchup now. Pretty strong fair hand. Yep, Jeskai Mentor. Admittedly, kind of an annoying Jeskai Mentor hand. We actually are incredibly poorly equipped to deal with this hand. Because they're just going to resolve an Arcanist, and then we're fucked. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. We are definitely not equipped to deal with that hand. Daze is pretty good, though. I actually think oh, no, I did it again. I wanted to... Alright, well, I wanted that Astrolabe for our Coatl, but we didn't get it, so... Exclamation mark F6 is only in chat. I mean, they'll probably just go for Lavinia, right? Oh, I guess that's actually really good for us. Yeah, I definitely wish we had that Astrolabe. Very unfortunate, but I fucked up. Can I say? Oh, Force is a good draw. They don't have a red source right now, so in their first 2 draws, they would have had to draw a land. They did draw land, okay. Fair. I mean, if they slam a Mentor, it's good for us, but I don't think they're going to slam a Mentor. I don't think we're allowed to force that either. That's actually a really good draw as well. Yeah, I really, really needed that Astrolabe that we bottomed. Oh, well. It's a guy to do. Growth Spiral. Fetch land would be nice. Not a fetch land. Okay. Okay. I think this is a pretty easy Uro here. They want to blast it, so be it. Fetch land would have been nice again. Did not get there. Ooh, Oko, not bad. Opponent not drawing lands is really good for us. Opponent not drawing preordained is also really good for us. So I think we're getting a little lucky, which is, you know, very nice. Strip mine their red source is insanity. We have top decked extremely well in this game. If I'm going to complain about run bads, I also have to acknowledge run goods, and we are running so good. Maybe they Pyroblast a land to get it in their yard so they can flash it back for the Uro. No, chose not to. Fair. I am definitely jamming Uro here over Oko, I think. Maybe that's incorrect. I think that's correct, though. Maybe this is greedy. Ooh, perfect land draw. All right, well, this is insane. We're doing great things here. I think our opponent drew abysmally, and we drew perfect. So I guess that does help. All right, swung it back the other way. Though I do think this matchup is really interesting and really fun. Fair matchup. I think I actually like boarding in Hydroblast and Melody because an Arcanist can be pretty annoying. What do I like to board out though? I don't usually like negation very much in this matchup. And days on the draw, maybe days on the draw. Days was pretty good on the draw in that game, but I think I like this. Yep, that's fine. Oxen is broken. Yeah, that's okay. Sure. Interesting. I'm pretty in on this life. I took the preordain first so that I have another card I can pitch to force. And I can go for like growth spiral into strip mine next turn. Maybe I'm supposed to be just pitching borrower. I'm gonna go to their turn first though. Gosh. Sure. Fine. Pretty big tempo advantage from that. They have to pitch a card too. They pitched the card we strip mined, by the way. They pitched the card we strip mined. You love to see it. I don't think jamming an Oko makes a lot of sense here. I think we just want to preordain. I'm gonna crack first. Interesting. Don't think we want that. Not sure if we want this or not. Willing to keep it though. So what are they gonna jam here? DAC. I don't really want them to have a DAC. I don't really know what I want to pitch either. I guess theoretically they can just keep a DAC and then we can just brazen borrow it. So it's 3 mana Faithless Looting. I guess that's fine. Pitch to swords and a DAC. I think this play is fine. So I have Sanctuary, but I don't really have anything to bring back besides a Ponder. I can resolve an Oko while they're tapped out, but it's pretty weak against Pyroblast. I could Oko their Ruby. That just seems like a way that I get in trouble. I guess I could Oko their Ruby and then later steal their Ruby. Did they miss a land drop that turn? No, I don't think so. They probably just played their land intact, right? Yeah, they played their land intact. What do you want to do? I think we just want to pass and play a borrower, right? I don't think so. Oko seems so bad here because I didn't keep the Mox. If I had kept the Mox, we would have had at least had a 3/3. 7 cards from my opponent's hand. These forces look pretty poor as well. Maybe I'm supposed to bottom the force. I don't know what the right play is, so I might try to resolve a Oko here. This seems bad. I don't know why I did this. I don't like this play very much. I think end of turn borrower was the best line. We're really, really far behind in this game, I think. My opponent has 7 cards. Our cards are kind of garbage. If we had an Ancestral, we would at least be able to go like Ancestral. Yeah, I don't like this line very much, but it's the play I went with, so. It's going to be a DAC. Oh, it's going to be a Monastery Mentor. So if I force this, they force back. They Pyroblast this, and I steal it. Sure. I mean, they obviously have a Pyroblast. Or they would never play this into just an active Oko. Okay. So if my opponent doesn't have another force, then we get our own Mentor here. They have another force. Well, nope, they have swords. I mean, I think we made the right play. I think opponent just had better cards than us, right? If we had not, yeah, what am I? They have 1 card left, though they do have Sanctuary for Gush. I guess we could just do it again. Maybe that works out. They didn't have a Daze last turn, but I guess there's no harm in playing around it. All right, I would like your Monastery Mentor. This game is ridiculous. All right, we got wrecked. All right, my opponent's hand was much better that time. Am I supposed to play negations? Maybe negations are fine. Just to play as 3 mana cancels. And then I like cut Mystical. And I think the loan package is good. Maybe I can just cut Coatl and Astrolabe. I mean, I like Coatl. Maybe I'll just cut the Astrolabes. I don't need them. Maybe that's better. Let's try that, I guess. That was pretty brutal. I think the way we played it was right, though. Oh, that's a good hand, isn't it? Cute. Yeah, I mean, we had an Oko to deal with it, and we had 2 melodies and a force. So, like, we had a bunch of ways. They just had all the answers. So, Survey says Force of Will, pitching Flusterstorm. Okay. Volcanic Island. Wasteland. Preordain. I definitely do not need a land or a melody. Oh, well, we got what we got. Another fetch land, okay. Fetch land, Preordain. They have an island, sure. Okay. Maybe I'm supposed to hold this for Fluster. Fuck. Yeah. I think it's fine. All right, so if they play a Lavinia here, that's fine. Does turn off any forces I would draw. Can steal it later. Oh, interesting. All right, so we'll put this on top, and we'll keep this. Hmm. Negation Island. I actually want both of these. Well, I don't want this right now, but after I kill the Lavinia, it's really good. I mean, I could steal the Lavinia, but I feel like that is asking for a little bit much. Pretty sure I'm going to go for like the Koado kill. Oh. Huh. I still think that I'm doing this later. Well, you just keep taking damage. I think I'm still supposed to strip mine the Tundra. I wonder if I'm still playing this Coatl at end of turn. Even though I don't have... I feel like it's just a good use of my mana, right? Maybe that was bad. Not really sure. Time Walk is insane. Maybe I was supposed to keep that misdirection, but I wanted to just get the Ancestral here. Maybe I shouldn't play the Ancestral until after I Melody this Lavinia. Interesting. I think we're just supposed to play Ancestral on their turn. All right. Wasteland is so good in Vintage. It's insane. Like, this game was entirely won off the back of Wasteland Strip Mine, right? Like, obviously the library was very, very good as well, but
This deck is, I don't know. I think it's really, really good.
Okay, here we go. It is time. Round 6 vintage challenge. We are sitting in the middle of the 3-2s, so we have no chance of top 8ing, unfortunately, but let's see if we can't go 4-2. Yep, that's a pretty decent hand. I'm gonna keep that one. Yeah, I mean, you can play plenty of vintage that's not sanctioned. It doesn't really matter, but and I do all the time. People play 15 proxy vintage all the time, but that still dissuades people from playing. You just want as many people to play as they want to. I played plenty of full proxy vintage too. Island. All right, so it is Doomsday. Oh, Doomsday might be a challenging matchup for us. The reason is because we do not have a clock in our deck that's like substantial. We do have like a good counter magic suite to beat Doomsday, and maybe we'll just try to beat Doomsday after resolves. But we don't have a way to pressure Doomsday into going off. And that's where the real challenge is. However, we do have like a pretty good counter suite for this game, so we've got something going on. I would say of the combo decks, this one does seem like it would be the biggest challenge because Doomsday is so Xeroxy in nature that it doesn't really care that you have a bunch of counter spells or whatever. So it's a little interesting that I don't know if we want to use this growth spiral as a growth spiral or we want to pitch it to force, but if opponent like fetches here, I don't know if they would fetch here. Then we might want to just like growth spiral and wasteland. Definitely think we're gonna bring in the one surgical extraction post board. See what happens. Don't think it's gonna get much better for us post board. No land drop is a good sign. I am gonna just cast this growth spiral. I think starting to cycle through our card is really powerful, as is the ability to put a card back on top. Nice, sure. Didn't really want to play the wasteland before they fetch, but I think this is still fine. Definitely don't want to put the growth spiral back on top though. So. We are technically clocking our opponent, but not in a super strong or super fast way. We do have a nice counter suite, but the longer Doomsday waits, the more counters they will also have. The only way we actually start clocking faster is with like a Brazen Bar would be a pretty good draw. I guess an Oko might be acceptable as well. They might be going off if they're willing to play an Underground Sea this turn. Kind of seems like that's the case. If they just cast Doomsday here, I think we're better off fighting after it resolves. I know Bart is a really competent Doomsday player, but I think that's actually our best avenue to victory. Maybe I was supposed to counter it with a Flusterstorm so that I could Mystic Sanctuary back the Flusterstorm. It's possible that that would be true, and then maybe that was a better play. I'm not really sure. I haven't tested this matchup at all.
yet. There hasn't been any Doomsday players in leagues that I played against, so. But I feel like with the way our current hand is currently set up, the best way to approach it is the Matt Murray approach to the matchup, which is try to correctly counter the right things post Doomsday. They made the clock for us, basically. But I think it might have been a slight mistake to not just go Flusterstorm. Though maybe what we're supposed to do is if we do go to another turn, we'll Mystic Sanctuary back the Growth Spiral as it's a blue card. That might be worthwhile. As we're currently low on like the number of cards we have. Yeah, so they're gonna pass. So what I'm gonna do is put the Growth Spiral back on top. And I'm gonna Wasteland an Underground Sea. Because constraining their mana is pretty important here. Well, Fluster is our most important card, so it's a little weird. But I'm pretty sure trying to beat them on the stack is probably our best chance. So I think letting Doomsday resolve is good. But maybe, I don't know, they have 7 cards in hand. Maybe it's not possible to beat them on the stack. Dark Ritual. Why would you cast Dark Ritual? Play a bunch of Duresses or something? I don't know. This seems like it should resolve, though. Necro. They can never lose by drawing out. But as long as we counter both Thasas, it's fine. Sure, I guess you have a Necro. Their biggest problem is going to be their mana. If this is a Thassa, then I just counter it. Okay. And if they force back, then we negation. Okay, so they still have 1 Thassa in their deck. We do have an active Coatl, so it's just next turn is... Will they win on the next turn, right? We also... Yeah. Wait, they just went down to... Okay, they never draw. Okay, so Ancestral is lethal. Yeah, I don't know. Oko is lethal, actually. On Growth Spiral. It's fine, because it pitches to Force. I still have 4 counter spells. Yeah, I don't know. I think we made the right choice here. I think opponent didn't have to go on a Doomsday when there was no clock. I think that would be a mistake. If we do win this game, it's because my opponent was over eager, right? I mean, they could also, like, level us and have a Cavern in their deck. The only thing that matters is the Oracle. Maybe we can't beat this? Wait, so if I go... Pay for 3 and misstep 1? Is that the best line? I think that's the best line. And then I still have... I mean, if they have double Fluster, I guess we've lost this game, right? I think that's the best way to play this. Now I lose to a daze. Ah, so I should have looked at what they fucking had in their yard. So if I pitched to that, we could have beaten the daze. Yeah. Okay, maybe I threw that right there. I might have just thrown that. I mean, I should have looked to see if they had a fluster, right? They had 2 flusters already already used. I probably throw that. Well, they could have more than 1 fluster. They could also have more than 1 daze. I can just look at their last Doomsday list, though. No, they have 3 flusters. We were dead. They had fluster as well. No, they had 3 flusters. They have 3 flusters and 2 dazes, so they just had all of their counter magic in their hand. So maybe we misplayed. I don't know. Counter the what? I have to counter everything. The force of vigor, the force of will has to resolve. I think just Astrolabe can go. I mean, I don't really have very much for this matchup. It's not really. I guess they just had all of it, right? I guess all they have to do is, like, if they have a Necro in their hand, right? When they Doomsday, then all they need to do is fill their 5-card pile with Thassa's Oracle and 4 counter spells. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe our play was wrong. I don't know. I think our play was fine. I do think that we should have looked to see, like, which cards were in their yard, but the problem was going to be we only saw 1 of the 2 dazes and 2 of the 3 fluster storms, so we were probably dead either way. I don't really know how else we could have done anything there. No, I think Waste is incredibly good in this matchup. Waste is like one of our only ways to win. I would not be cutting Waste. Like, this game is, can I prevent a clock and can I keep them off of mana? I might have needed to board in Vigor for Leyline, but it's kind of sus. I could possibly have countered Necro. Yeah, it's possible. The game would have dragged on for a couple more turns, I guess. I don't know if it would have. I don't really think, like, I think Necro makes them go all in on 1 turn, and I think that's good for us. So it's kind of tough to say. We needed what, like 1 more land or 1 more counter spell? I don't know. Possible that I just can never win there by letting Doomsday resolve, but I also could have drawn Ancestral at any point and won the game immediately, right? I think I'm supposed to fight over this. I just don't know how I'm going to win if I don't counter this. I mean, Matt would have told me, like, don't even play this, but they just have double Force of Will. All right, whatever. I mean, you got me. They had triple Force of Will, actually, because they pitched a Force of Will to a Force of Will. All right, so if I can just draw that Surgical Extraction, strip mine their Underground Sea. I don't know. I think Doomsday is even more broken than Breach. I think it's just a harder deck to play. But I've said that for a long time. Like, my opponent's just murdering me right now. They had double Force of Will into... Oh, man. It's so unfortunate. I'm pretty dead, right? They've cast 3 Preordains. Please restrict Preordain, for fuck's sake. Oh, they missed their land drop. Can I get a... That's... have their Sapphire, though. What a weird game. All right. I wonder if this is going to resolve, chat. What do you think? Sylvan Library? Survey says... resolve. I'm about to pay so much life. Turn this into an elk. It's going to be great. I got a Loam Strip Mine lock going on. Uh-oh, we're dead. Never mind. Never mind. Game is over. Dark Ritual, Doomsday, draw a card, right? No. Sure. I think Doomsday should just be restricted. I think this deck is like way too good. Look at this shit. It's so fucked up. Oh! I hate Doomsday so much. I hate it way more than I hate Breach too. I don't know. I'm not sure that we could have won these games if we played differently. Maybe we could have. I don't think this matchup is very good, but also like I cast Ancestral. I got double Force of Will, and then my opponent still killed me 2 turns later, or I guess it's 4 turns later. All right, I mean maybe they don't have a draw spell. They used 3 Preordains, right? Maybe they just don't have a draw spell. What am I? Who am I kidding? Why would they not have a draw spell? That would be silly. That would be silly. 3 mana win the game. It's fair. I hate this deck so much. How is this remotely reasonable? Whatever. All right. 3-3. Probably top 32 or whatever. So sad. To be fair, like we had 2 rounds where we just had no possible chance of winning, I guess. I don't know. Did you have Flusterstorm and Daze, Bart, in game 1? You play 3 Fluster in 2 days, right? Yeah. So what is your pile in that situation? What did you I guess it's just because you had all the other cards in hand. Yeah. Necro, Fluster, Lotus, Oracle. And you just had the second Oracle already. So if you hadn't already had the second Oracle in your hand and had to include it in your pile, then I would have been fine. I needed you to have 1 less of those 10 cards in your hand, I think. I wonder. Maybe I'm just supposed to Fluster the Doomsday and then buy it back. I don't know. I just feel like I have no way of clocking you, so it doesn't really seem like that would work out. And I felt like I had enough counter magic that it was probably playable, but I guess I didn't have enough counter magic. What about if I hadn't strip mined? If I hadn't wasteland? No, because then you still have enough to pay for my Fluster. So it doesn't really work. Well, I didn't even think about Necro, so maybe that's on me. I didn't see any reason why I should missed up a ritual, and then you played Necro, but I also didn't think that Necro was that big a deal either. It just happened you had everything, so you had everything already. Because if you like don't have one of those cards in your hand, and then you don't have all of your Flusters and all of your Dazes, then I can well, I guess I can't beat the Fluster anyways. I guess I could have fought over the ritual, because then you can never... I mean, If I fight over your Necropotence, don't I just lose anyways? I just lose later? Like, you might have to wait a couple turns, but then you're still going to kill me. The Necropotence just speeds the game up, which I think was something that I thought was in my favor. I don't think I'm supposed to ever fight over the Necropotence. It is kind of free to misstep the ritual, I guess. But if you went for like Ancestral, I guess that was the only card that misstep was going to be good against there. I don't know. Maybe I could have played it better. Not sure. Anyways, so we played 6 rounds of today. We went 3-3. I felt that if I had played better in round 4, we probably would have gone 4-2, but Doomsday matchup seemed pretty atrocious, and I'm not actually sure how you would ever make it playable. Doomsday is just has all the same draw, like more draw, more counter than me, and wins the game on the spot, and I don't have any clocks in my deck, so I don't know. I think Doomsday is pretty much just unbeatable no matter what, so Ashiok's not good. It's a 3-mana card. You're just dead. Like, 3-mana cards aren't good against Doomsday. I honestly don't know what is good against Doomsday. I think Doomsday is just completely broken, but that's been my opinion, and it will probably continue to be my opinion. The Breach matchup, I think, is playable, but Anu drew, like, way too powerful hands for us to compete against. So, I don't really know. Why? What makes Jeskai good against Doomsday? I don't see any reason why Jeskai would be good against Doomsday. Jeskai doesn't have a clock either. You have the same, if not more, counter magic than Jeskai. What makes Jeskai good against Doomsday? You have more counters than them. Like, there's no way a Jeskai deck has more counters than I do. Lavinia is like a reasonable thing to say, but like Lavinia is such a bad card versus the rest of the format. Like, sure, I definitely think Lavinia is good against Doomsday, but I don't even think it's like the end all be all either. But I don't know. Maybe the Lavinia is just good enough to make it better. Like the Jeskai deck is not playing more counter magic than this, right? Maybe post board they have some more, and I could fit more. I could fit like a Mindbreak Trap or something in post board, I guess. But there's no deck in the format that will have more counter magic than Doomsday. Doomsday always has the most. Look at this Doomsday list: 3 Flusterstorm, 2 Dazes, 4 Force of Will, Mystical Dispute, and a Negation. There's no deck in the format that can afford to ever play more counter magic than it. I mean, I think Doomsday is a better control deck than Jeskai, you know? Yeah, I guess that would be like how you evaluate Blast, but you're playing more Dazes, more Flusters, a Mystical Dispute. I don't know. Okay, let me just talk about this deck quick. This is, I think this deck showed up today in a way that made it look like it was at least reasonable. I think your Bug and your Fair matchups are so good. We played against Bug and Jeskai today, and I felt like we were heavily favored. We probably played like a 3-0 match versus Bug, where I threw 1 game away, but we probably would have won all 3 games. Obviously, the Breach matchup was brutal, but I don't really think it was indicative of like all matches versus Breach. I think like opponent had a pretty high roll hand versus us, so maybe it's not as good as I think it is, but we can definitely make that matchup better by changing things in the sideboard. Like if you change these Ravenous Traps to Soul Guide Lanterns, and get like a third, maybe like a Spell Snare or something, like you can definitely make the Breach matchup better. And then the Doomsday matchup, I think, is probably always going to be unwinnable unless you put maybe Archive Traps in the board. I really don't see... Blue is probably not a great search term. I don't have a blue Elemental Blast. I guess I should get a blue Elemental Blast. Blue. Elemental Blast. I guess there are a lot of blue elementals in Magic. And like, I don't know. I guess you could try to make the Doomsday matchup better by playing. The way you make the matchup better is you play a clock and you play hate pieces. And I don't think any of the hate pieces are in blue green. The hate pieces are like Lavinia, opposition agent, etc. I guess you could play things like Narset, but I don't find Narset to be super strong in my deck. I have a hard time protecting it. Maybe Narset is one of the better ways we can play. I just haven't found like super success in 3-mana permanents against Doomsday. So, but in general, it definitely shined in the fair matchups, and then maybe we need to work on our combo matchups. Part of the problem with the combo matchups is we have almost our entire sideboard dedicated to shops and dredge. This is our sideboard. We have 12 cards in our sideboard that are for shops and dredge. We have 1 that is for red decks, and we have 2 to beat the creature decks. So it feels like we're a little spread thin in the ability to like have a bunch more cards for combo. So like, how are you playing way more counters than me? What do you have a mind break trap and what? I don't know. I legitimately don't know how you want to play more counter Magic. What do you want me to play? Not me. Like, I have 10 pieces of counter Magic. That's an incredibly high number. 11 pieces of counter Magic. It's a super high number. I don't know. What other counter Magic should we put in? But like the problem really is like you're still never gonna have more counter Magic than the Doomsday player. Multiple mind break traps, 3 flusters, and I have 2 negations. I don't know. I don't feel like you should need to have more counter Magic. Like, this is already an extremely high amount of counter Magic. And the more you put in cards like mind break trap and things into your deck, the weaker your other matchups are. So maybe we're supposed to play Soul Guide. I mean, I think Ravenous Trap's like super good against the dredge decks, but maybe we're supposed to play Soul Guide Lantern so that we have a couple extra cards against Breach. And then I really don't think we can afford to cut more Shops hate than we already have. So like maybe we can get a Mind Break Trap in our sideboard somehow. Not sure how exactly. Maybe like we cut a Growth Spiral from the main deck and we put a Mind Break Trap in the main deck. Maybe that's fine. Try to play that avenue. Maybe this is where we want to go from here. I'm not really sure. But if you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That way we can continue growing the channel and play more off the wall double Mystic Sanctuary decks. I think this deck is really cool, so I'm going to continue working on it. I don't know if we'll be able to play it again in a challenge, as we have both a showcase and a PTQ coming up, and those are pretty important events. We don't know if we can be able to play brews unless we have supreme confidence in them. My next stream will be, I don't know, at the very least it'll be Wednesday for Mythic Society, but maybe before then if we find another brew. Maybe we'll play a prelim tomorrow night if we can get the fire. Either way, that's it for now.